Hey y'all, Bill Quirk with Shoot GTR and the Defensive Training Group. Here today to do a quick video talking about, or following up I should say, on something that I discussed in a previous video. So in a recent Rangemaster Minute video, I talked all about open carry, the changes in the law, considerations for the end user if you decide to open carry out in the world, as well as specific policy considerations for Shoot GTR. And lawful defense for that matter. Wanted to circle back a little bit because one of the things that I talked about when it comes to considerations for engaging in open carry out in public is the fact that most people are not trained, most people are not equipped, and most people are not willing to bear the burden of that perpetual situational awareness that you need to have if you're going to open carry, if you're going to advertise to the world that you've got a weapon on. So I wanted to circle back today and specifically talk about are you equipped? And so some of the options there for holsters that will help set you up for success. So most people, when they're talking about concealed carry, we have standard retention type holsters, leather or Kydex, and depending on what company you look at as far as their scale of retention, they are level 1. Some people try to say they're level 2 because they have 2 different retention devices, but generally what we're talking about is a level 1 holster. The retention is through fit, maybe a tension screw or something along that lines, but there's nothing really stopping the gun from coming out of the holster if I try to. There's no switch or anything that I need to overcome to draw my pistol. And when we talk about open carry, particularly when that gun is exposed, there have been documented cases where there was a video that I saw recently. An individual is standing at the counter at a gas station and a person comes in behind him, and you see as the person comes in, they kind of look and they see that the guy's got a gun. They go off camera and then immediately come back up behind the person and they grab the gun. They take the gun out of the holster because there was no retention to prevent that from happening. And now the former gun owner turns and goes, hey, you got my gun, but at that point, what are we gonna do? We're definitely behind the power curve because the other person has our gun, and in point of fact, they have our gun with a proper grip and they're pointing it at us. You know, we're in a very bad position. So training, of course, comes into that, situational awareness comes into that, and those are the big components. But when we're talking about equipment, setting ourselves up for success, we can do some things equipment-wise to make things more better. So let's talk about that. This would be an example. This is a very good holster, but this is an example of a standard open top outside the waistband holster. And the only retention you've got here is through this tension screw. There's no strap or active retention type system to keep the gun from coming out. So I will show you, I have a Glock 45 here. Drop that striker. And when this goes into the holster, a sharp tug is all that it takes for me to withdraw the pistol. There's no additional method of stopping the gun from coming out. And this is what most people are gonna have, most common. Inside the waistband generally is gonna apply as well. We can bump up to something like this. This is a Safarlan product. This is a 6378 RDS. This is actually one that I pulled from the shop, so we sell these here. And this is more in line with what you're gonna see a plainclothes law enforcement officer using, a detective or an investigator or administrative staff, whatever. This is the type of thing that increasingly we're using these days in those roles. And this is commonly called a level 2 because there are a couple of different things here. So just like on this one with a tension screw, there is a tension screw here. But what makes this one a step up is you've got this switch here, this ALS, automatic locking system, that when the weapon is inserted, it locks into place. And this has to be manipulated in order to release the gun. So gun goes in, clicks in, and you can see there's that solid retention there. The gun is not coming out. I have to manipulate that switch, and now the gun can come out. So it locks in place. I press the switch and it comes out. And it's very ergonomic. There are more overt law enforcement agencies. So you have some patrol agencies or patrol divisions in certain agencies that are using these for uniform use, but and then some of the federal agencies are using these even when they're operating in a more overt capacity. The Marshal Service uses these, for example. So various versions of this. So this gives you a little bit more security literally. It's called a security holster to protect against an unwanted gun grab, someone coming up behind you and snatching that gun out. And there are different technologies here. So I've got another one that I'll show you. And this is one of mine. This is one of my duty rigs, but you can also set this up in more of a routine carry configuration. This one's set up with a tourniquet on the front, which I guess you could do if you wanted to, but normally people wouldn't have this for a lower profile, even an open carry type situation. But what I wanted to show you is, so this one goes in and the retention here is through this hood. Again, there is a tension screw down here, but the way this works is the hood prevents the gun from coming out, and this is a lefty, I'm manipulating it right-handed just to show you, but I press down, rotate forward, and then the gun can come out. So that's how this one gets its level 2 status and gets that active retention, because the hood needs to come out. And there are a couple of different styles of hoods out there. There are several aftermarket ones. The Safariland rotating hood, the SLS system, was one of the original ones, if not the original one. This is from a company called US Duty Gear, and they have a very similar version, a little bit evolved. The pad here is a little bit more pronounced and a bit more textured, but same basic idea. And then there's some spring-loaded ones that you can get. JX Tactical, a company that we sell in the pro shop, they have a different version that's spring-loaded. So when you press that thumb button, the hood actually rotates forward under spring pressure. This one you're pushing forward as you manipulate it. These are just some examples of how you can set yourself up for success. You all know that I like that expression. You never want to plan on defeat. You never want to set yourself up for defeat or for a negative experience. You always want to set yourself up for success. And getting the proper equipment is an element of that. Training, situational awareness are the two big ones, but having proper equipment certainly will assist you and will help provide a foundation for everything else, setting yourself up for success. One last thing that I'll talk about this one. So this is a conventional, this is belt mounted. These are belt loops that's going to go onto the belt. This one is set up with a paddle configuration. And this is pros and cons. A lot of detectives and whatnot like these because you can fairly easily take them off of the belt when you get back to the office and you want to put your gun and take it off so when you're sitting at your desk, it's not digging into you. I never did that. But some people do. If you are an ordinary person and you're perhaps going into locations frequently throughout the day where you can't carry a gun, a post office, something along those lines, and post offices, there's some interesting court challenges going on right now, so that may be changing. But for right now, don't carry your gun in the post office. And you need to be taking the weapon off. A paddle gives you a little bit more flexibility to quickly remove that holster from the belt. The problem with these that you have to guard against is anything that's designed to come off can come off. And there are cases where people draw the gun, holster stays with it, and I end up pointing the entire thing at my threat or my target, which obviously is less than ideal. And yes, that's an understatement. What this is supposed to do is the belt this paddle goes inside the waistband and the belt comes through, and if you can see there's a little hook here, it locks into that, and that's what keeps it from coming out as you draw the gun. But these sometimes can fail. So your mileage may vary. Not bad, but you need to make sure that they're properly engaged and you're using them correctly and get a good design as well. So just some considerations if you do decide to open carry, to make sure that you are equipped correctly, equipped properly, and set yourself up for success, not for failure, not for defeat. As always, if you have any questions at all, reach out to me, reach out to the shop. We can show you these products. We do sell these in the shop. Give us a like, give us a share, and as always, you all stay safe.